You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. We are covering the Mueller testimony today in the House Judiciary Committee and the House Intelligence Committee today. There are a lot of responses. A lot of people have been tweeting things. Specifically, one of them, by the way, Eric Erickson. Bob Mueller is old, and this hearing is just painful to watch. I did not know who Eric Erickson is, but fortunately, Jube Dankworth works with me on the Wells Report. In case you don't know, Jube Dankworth is the world's greatest publicist. She handles publicity for the Wells Report. She works with media, with net media consultants. And if you need publicity, the person to contact is Jube Dankworth, Jube Dankworth, Net Media Consultants. They handle all the publicity for the Wells Report, and they do an amazing job. She told me that Eric Erickson started the Tea Party movement, had several media sites. He and Breitbart called for the week-long series of phone calls that helped create the first Tea Party, and that meeting was across the U.S. in March of 2009. So that's who Eric Erickson is. Joy Reid from MSNBC tweeting about this particular hearing. Lots of Twitter folks are dogging Mueller out for looking old and feeble, but optically it just makes Republicans yelling at him look more absurd. That's a little strained. Mueller is quite definitive in his one-word answers, which only Democrats are eliciting from him so far, but also Democrats elicited no answers from Robert S. Mueller III. And that's going to be telling. When it comes right down to it, at the end of all of this, Robert Mueller did not provide the Democrat Party with what they were looking for. 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Damon Linker. Damon Linker jumped all over this earlier today. This is from The Week. It's hard to understand what congressional Democrats hope to achieve by summoning a reluctant Robert Mueller to appear before the House Judiciary and Intelligence Committees today. The former special counsel's exhaustive 448-page report has been done for nearly 4 months. It's been public for 3, with the country having plenty of time to absorb its comically anticlimactic conclusion that although the 2016 Trump campaign did a lot of shady, underhanded things, none of them amounted to criminal conspiracy, collusion, with the Russian government. And that although there was substantial evidence of obstruction of justice on the part of the president, none of it is actionable because sitting presidents can't be indicted. The whole absurd, convoluted result was perfectly summarized in Mueller's oracular pronouncement at his press conference. If we had confidence that this president had clearly, if we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. Yeah, that's the double negative thing. It's incomprehensible. Mueller spent 2 years, $35 million. I don't care how much it costs. And you know what? I'm going to stop this for just a couple of seconds here. Okay? Robert S. Mueller III is not responsible for how much this investigation and report costs. Okay? He's a guy that was doing a job. You may disagree with the predicate for that job. You may find problems with that job. I know I do. But Robert S. Mueller III is a giant. He is. You may not agree with his politics. He may have lost it toward the end. And he certainly did not want to testify today, and this is the reason why. But the thing about it is that Robert S. Mueller III is not responsible for how much money this cost, and it doesn't make any difference how much money it costs. If somebody who is the president of the United States is actually guilty of criminal action, you want to investigate it. You want to find out what's going on. It doesn't make any difference whether it's a Republican president or a Democrat president. You simply want to find out what's going on. Did we find out what's going on? I think to a large extent we did, and what we found out that was going on was not much. The other aspect of this is that you have to understand that the only real things that are actionable here are things that have to be augmented with other things. In other words, the president did this. Well, if this had happened and this had happened when he did this, then this could have happened, and therefore the president must be impeached. That doesn't track. It carries no weight. And if you go back and you look at all the charges that are against this president, they're all like that. The president was not truthful, and I don't think this is the case. The president was not truthful about dealings with Russia insofar as there was a real estate deal in Moscow the president was involved in, and he said that he had no dealings with Russia. I think he was talking about collusion, but everybody was talking about anything having to do with Russia. Okay, well, I don't think the president read it that way, and that's the way he answered. That being said, now you're in a position where you go, well, if the president lied, then the Russian government could have come out and somehow compromised him and blackmailed him. So that's what I'm talking about. If the president lied, and that's a matter of opinion, if the president lied, then the Russian government could have blackmailed him. But they didn't. Nothing ever happened. Therefore, this whole thing is moot. We don't put people in legal jeopardy over what might happen, what could have happened, and so on. And there's something else I want to talk about. And by the way, none of this is intended, and I'm talking about the opinion part of the broadcast today, none of this is intended to be for all times and all people. We are not inscribing anything I'm saying today in stone and saying, this is the way it is. I'm not Walter Cronkite. I didn't agree with Walter Cronkite when he said, that's the way it is, Friday, September 15th. I'm Walter Cronkite. Good evening. I never believed it. I never agreed with it. Walter, that's the way you see it, or that's the way you report it. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way it is. I'm just telling you what I think. And oh, by the way, asking you to tell me what you think. But here's what I think. I think that the President of the United States is a guy who essentially runs roughshod over the entire idea of American politics. He has flushed out enemies of the people in his search for the presidency. And it is simply clear, as far as I'm concerned, that this president is essentially being victimized by the swamp. I think that's where all this comes from, and I think it's terrible. I think it's awful that he's in that situation. But on the other hand, you know, it's predictable. It is absolutely predictable. So anyway, as we do all of this and as we talk about all this, please understand that what I'm trying to get across here is truth. I'm trying to get across facts. There are things that I believe about this that are either exculpatory for the president or not. I happen to believe this president is being badly handled. I think he is being abused. I think there's all manner of abuse of power being thrown around all over the place. I think the president is a victim of a deep state conspiracy. And I think that that's the real problem here. I think that most of that's going to come out with the Department of Justice report, the IG's report, on the investigation both into Hillary Clinton's server and also the actual wiretaps and FISA court warrants handed out against Trump campaign workers. I think that's all going to happen. I think all of that is what we're going to see. And that will happen soon. And as a matter of fact, by the way, why haven't we heard it now? Why have we not heard about that Inspector General report from Michael Horowitz? Well, From what I understand, about 3 weeks ago, word sort of leaked out of Washington that the report was done. Well, if it's done, what's happening with it? In my heart of hearts, I believe what's happening is as follows. There are a lot of people that made a lot of very serious mistakes. And those people did things that were plainly un-American. That were absolutely wrong. There were cover-ups involved, at the likes of which we have never seen. Arguably, this entire report, this entire investigation, is a cover-up of crimes well beyond the Trump campaign, transition, and presidency. I think that what we're doing is we are seeing the swamp essentially accusing the President of the United States with the crimes that have been committed by people running for the presidency, not Donald Trump. I believe that this goes to the very heart of upper management of the FBI. I believe this goes to the very heart of management of CIA. I'm also very concerned about the NSA involvement in this, the Office of National Intelligence, James Clapper, and parts of DHS and other federal agencies. I think what ended up happening here was a situation where these people were sure that Donald Trump was someone who broke the law as a matter of course, and that all they needed to do was open up just a little bit of this guy's background, and all of these crimes, so-called crimes, would come pouring out. Not the case. Not good. Well, if they had been successful, in getting Hillary Clinton elected, we would have heard of none of this. If indeed the President of the United States, if they had actually found something, we'd have never heard of this. But they didn't. Now what do we have? We have blatant abuse of power on the part of James Comey and the FBI. And this, by the way, is Rod Rosenstein's problem too, because he signed off on a FISA warrant based on this information. The only chance he has of getting out of this is if indeed he's in a position where he can prove that he did not know that the Steele dossier was compromised. I don't think he can do it. So it's Comey. And it's John Brennan of CIA, formerly of the CIA. And it's Andrew McCabe. And it's Peter Strzok. And it's Lisa Page. And it's a lot of people that are essentially, in my view, going to go down in flames. And oh, by the way, we haven't gone back up yet. Where did the information that was being developed by these FISA warrants go? Where did it end up? It ended up in the hands of Susan Rice. Where did it go beyond Susan Rice? Well, who did Susan Rice report to? Did Susan Rice share this information with Hillary Clinton in the campaign? Yeah. Did those 32,000 emails probably prove that some of that happened? That's why we don't have them. Did the IG find them? Did Michael Horowitz find them? I don't know. But that Donald Trump is finding himself at the end of this unfortunate day of testimony of Robert Mueller III, that he finds himself in a position where the Democrat Party has wrapped itself around the axle of impeachment. That they find all of that and are getting nowhere with it is going to be excruciatingly damaging for the political fortunes of the swamp. There are a lot of people running for cover today, and they deserve to. You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. That's what I think. What do you think? 844-RADIO-US. 844-723-4687. 844-723-4687. Call us on the telephone. We've got a few more minutes in this broadcast. Let's share it. Whether you agree with me or not, let's share it. Say what you think is the right thing to say. 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. You are listening to the Wells Report, and I appreciate the fact that you are doing so. This is the USA Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Wade Alaroot for AMP Fest 19. AMP Fest 19 is the most entertaining political event and Trump Fest of the year for any conservative who wants to be empowered and entertained, or for any Trump superfan who wants to just have a blast. If that's you, head to the Trump Doral Hotel on October 10th to 12th in sizzling, sexy Miami, Florida. Headliner speakers at AMP Fest 19 include Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Dinesh D'Souza, Charlie Kirk of the Turning Point USA, Brandon Straka of the Walkaway Movement, and of course yours truly, Wayne Alaroot. I love that guy. But this is more than a traditional political event or Trump Love Fest. AMP Fest 19 features a Texas Hold'em poker tournament, golf tournament, comedy night, pool party, yacht party, fashion show, movie screening, Women for Trump Social, and prayer breakfast hosted by Alveda King. To register for AMP Fest 19, just go to AmericanPriority.com. That's AmericanPriority.com. It all happens October 10th to 12th at the Trump Doral in sizzling, sexy Miami. I'll see you there. AmericanPriority.com.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $15,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. National Debt Relief has helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-274-9490. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-274-9490. That's 800-274-9490. 800-274-9490.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
When I wasn't taking it and I was waiting for my operation, I was feeling very tired. Now I'm driving like 11, 12 hours a day. I told you I manage 15 gas stations. And I have so much energy. I even gave some of my pills for my son, and he said, Dad, this is good. So I like it. I'm healing so fast. It's like amazing. My family is so surprised because my wound like closing up and doing so good. So that is working now that I'm start taking my those fruits and vegetables.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Our telephone number, 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. The chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Gerald Nadler. The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. And the chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, Elijah Cummings, are now talking with the press. Gerald Nadler is speaking to the press right now. Let's join this press conference.
Saving the president from indictment, because all the elements of these crimes were found with substantial evidence, and the people have now heard this. The president's chant of no obstruction is nonsense. His chant that he's been totally exonerated is a simple lie.
This will be Adam Schiff.
First of all, I want to thank Director Mueller for a lifetime of service to the country. From his days as a young Marine in Vietnam, through his decades of service as a prosecutor, as the director of the FBI, and through his service as special counsel, this nation owes him an enormous debt of gratitude. So, Director Mueller, I want to thank you personally for all of your service. Today, the director outlined in powerful words how Russia intervened massively in our election, systematically in a sweeping fashion, how during the course of that intervention they made multiple approaches to the Trump campaign, and far from shunning that foreign involvement in our election, the Trump campaign welcomed it, made full use of it, put it into its communications and messaging strategy, and then lied about it. Lied about it to cover it up, lied about it to obstruct the investigation into that very attack on our democracy. Part of what I found so powerful about his testimony today was not just when he was asked about the law, but when he was asked about the ethics, the morality, the lack of patriotism of this conduct. And perhaps one of the most chilling moments, I think, in our committee was when he expressed the fear that this become the new normal. And, of course, I think what is animating that fear of the director, what certainly animates it for me, is the fact that even after the nightmare of the last 2.5 years, the President of the United States will still not forswear receiving foreign help again. That to this point, the President still continues to call this Russian attack on our democracy a hoax, something that Director Mueller today directly refuted. That he still calls a witch hunt, something that the Director Mueller today directly refuted. And so we go into this next election more vulnerable than we should be. We can't control completely what Russia does, although we must do everything we can to harden our election defenses, to make sure there are paper trails, to make sure that we deter and disrupt any kind of Russian intervention. But we cannot control that completely, but we can control what we do. And Director Mueller made it clear in no uncertain terms that it's up to us whether we act ethically and patriotically, whether we refuse to be a party to a foreign attack on our democracy. And once again, I thank him for his service.
Thank you very much. I first want to applaud Chairman Nadler, and who heads our Judiciary Committee, and certainly our Chairman of our Intelligence Committee.
This is Elijah Cummings.
For what they did today in their committees. What they did was paint a picture for America. One of the most chilling things that I have noticed, that I've witnessed, is when a former member of our committee, Mr. Amash, a Republican, went to a town hall meeting and got a round of applause in a Republican district after he had said that he felt that the president should be impeached. But that wasn't the thing that got me. What really got me was when a lady at the end of the town hall meeting said, "I didn't know that there was anything negative in the Mueller report about President Trump."
All right, that's Elijah Cummings, and you will hear more of this tomorrow and the coming days. So what happened today? Did the Democrats help themselves? Did they hurt themselves? Was President Trump hurt? Was he helped? The days coming before us will let us all know. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Philip Brown. Our associate producer is Ian Lucas. Our publicist is Jube Dankworth of Net Media Consultants. My name is John David Wells. Thanks very much for being with us today. Make sure you join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Wells Report on the USA Radio Network.
Here's a great deal on MyPillow. When you go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, type in promo code USA, you'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for $69.98. Now that's only $34.99 a pillow. You will not get that price anywhere at retail. It's the lowest price ever offered on radio or TV. And like all MyPillow products, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 2-pack special, use my promo code USA.
With a recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now, before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290, 800-965-1290.